Welcome to Knockhill Racing Circuit, where today we get to sit down for a bit of an exclusive interview with Matt Neal, recovering from a pretty nasty shoulder injury ahead of this year's British Touring Car Championship. The first thing we've got to ask you is, how is the shoulder and how are you?
I'm all right, cheers, Dunc. On the mend, you know, it was a pretty big hit. So the tree is still standing. I want to go back with a chainsaw and have a go at it. But yeah, I guess I'm not the most patient person when it comes to rehab, but it's just a question of you can't do press-ups or handstands or to make it go better. You just got to. A lot of it's down to time.
Have you had a lot of nice messages via social media? I would imagine the drivers would have been very nice towards you.
I've had some nicer messages than I normally get on social media in the season. A lot of them, it is what it is, isn't it? You just got to get on with it. I think there's a fair few injuries with Bobby cut his hand doing something, and there's someone else, and then yeah, there was a whole host of stuff going on. So I was just another name in it.
Okay, so you're not the most patient person in the touring car paddock. What have the doctors told you about the state of the injury and how long is the time frame for you healing?
Well, when I did it, it was 10 weeks to the start of the season. And I went to see the specialist up in Manchester, and he told me 3 months to drive a car again. So I went, yeah, what happened to 3 weeks? Thinking, you know, MotoGP riders, they get bolted back together on the bike the next day. But there's a whole multitude of things, because I punched my lung as well. I couldn't have an operation, couldn't have a general anaesthetic. I couldn't go in a hyperbaric chamber and all the rest of it, so I'm having to let it naturally heal. And I'm lucky that a lot of it's in place, but it's not one thing. It's the collarbone, it's the shoulder, it's the scapula, it's the ribs, it's the lung. It's a lot of things. So I'm trying to buck what he said and do it quicker. It's now 6 weeks and a day, and it's still pretty tender. So that's why, you know, we've got Flash in the car at the moment. And am I jealous? No, because I don't think I could do the car justice at the moment. So it's great that Flash can step in, you know, and I'm now I targeted a Brands test, which is another 10 days time. I'm now tentative whether I'll make that one, but we'll see.
So you've just said that you got Flash and Dan in the car. You had a pretty successful test day, or they had a successful test at Donington, and here at Knockhill they're both going pretty quickly in cold conditions. But what did the team do to the car over the winter? Is there upgrades in the car, or do you just run with what you have, or what goes on?
No, I mean the championship is so close. British touring cars are so close. You've got to look for everything, and we've been very busy over the winter. It's the old Sky cycling thing where it's small gains, and we've been looking at every area of the car, just seeing if we can tweak it, fine tune it better. Because sometimes you take one step backwards to take 2 steps forward, and you might make it worse in one area, but to make it twice as good in another area, and you've got to make it so the car's fast in qualifying and in race trim. The field's very competitive at the moment. The old shape Civics even, is super competitive. Never mind everyone else.
So let's try and look at some sort of positive outlook on this year, because fingers crossed that it does heal and you do get back in the car for round one. Because it's a big year this year. It's your 30th anniversary for the British Touring Car, so it's a big thing for you, isn't it? It's
gone too quickly. It is, yeah. I like round numbers, so it's what will I do. It's 91 was my first year, and the championship's changed a heap since then. The cars have changed a lot, the regulations, and I'd actually say the racing's probably as frenetic now as it's ever been. I was talking to Julian Rouse, Andy's son, and he says, Dad says, when I equalled his dad on, I think, 64 wins or 63 wins. And he says, Dad says, you've got it so much easier now with 30 races a year. And I went, maybe we do have more races, but come and try it. Because, man, it's hard to win a race now, let alone a championship. So you've got to have a good car, a good team, and a lot of luck on your side as well.
You've been through it all. You started in the old M3, or whatever it was. I think it was an M3, the old grey and black thing. And it went through the year of you used to do through the Super Tourer into the NGTC. What, in your eyes, is the best formula? When was touring cars at its best, or is it now?
That's the $50 million question, and a lot of people ask me that. You know, everyone looks back at the super touring era with, you know, with fond memories, but I always think it's through rose-tinted glasses, because it was when I got in, it's incredibly unfair. You weren't allowed, as an independent, you weren't allowed the same tyres or the same engines or the same differentials, or there was so much to the car. When now we have the same gearboxes, differentials, engine equalisation on power, you know, tyres, everything is the same. And in fact, the better cars and drivers, they get weight added in to slow them down. So I've got my career completely back to front, but which way do I like it? I like it now because it's fairer. I always think, make it fair, give me a fair crack of the whip, and then it's down to me if I win or lose. You know, I won't cry about losing. I've lost a lot more races than I'll ever win in my life, but it's just as long as you've got a fair crack at the win, then it's down to you.
And obviously, last year, Dan, this close to an actual championship, the way it panned out, you guys must come into this year, you know, your shoulders must be back, the chest must kind of be out. The race team, that is, obviously you're a little bit behind that, but there must be a good bit of momentum coming in for Dan, definitely.
I think the BMW was the weapon of choice last year. I think it still should be, just where the regulations are. I think where we ended up at Brands at the end of the year, if you'd have said we'd be challenging for the championship at mid-season, everyone would have burst out laughing, including us. And then, you know, the fact that they dropped the ball a few times, which allowed us to catch up. And then, you know, the morning of the Brands Hatch, when they were first, second and fourth on the grid or something, and we were 12th and 13th. If you'd have said we'd have challenged then, we'd have burst out laughing, as would everyone else. So the fact that we took them that close, I think was a real testament to, you know, we grafted, and, you know, no one believed it till the end. And it was only after round 29, I said to James, our team manager, I said, I'm starting to, you know, I could believe now. Yeah. And so it was gut-wrenching for Dan, but not just for Dan, but for all of us. And do we, how confident are we this year? We're hopeful, but we're definitely not underestimating the level of competition, and not just from BMW.
It's going to be another great year in the Quick Fit British Touring Car Championship. You can guarantee that. Matt, we wish you the best of health. You know, get back to fighting fitness. I'm pretty sure that is not too far away, no matter what happens for the testing and the start of the year. Why not drop Matt a little message on the social media just below this? He'd love to hear and read them, I would imagine. But from everybody at Knockhill, get well soon, and we'll look forward to seeing you in the car.
Cheers, Dunc.